Jesus.
All right, let's see.
Are we waiting for Claire?
I guess so, yeah. Okay, Paul. You have captions.
Thank you.
Should I move? Am I in the way of it?
No.
I don't think so.
But there it is. If you had your birthday hat on, you would be. But now it's not a problem.
Did we start or?
One way to train people.
Okay,
Yeah. Call the meeting to order.
I'll call the meeting to order. It's 1:38. And we are waiting for Claire, so we'll dispense with her report for now. So calling to order. Okay. And the first order of business is to confirm the status of our new Council on Aging members because we can't proceed with any voting unless we know everyone is in fact sworn in, appointed and sworn in.
Well, where we stand now is you, Claire, myself, Sue, Becky, Priscilla,
Carolyn. Kathy Rella.
Kathy,
I'm not.
they're all
You're not
appointed
sworn in.
and sworn in.
right,
Kathy has not been sworn in.
right.
Is she there now? Someone's sworn in, someone.
Sister. Not sure what the rule is. Can Kathy vote on things if she's not sworn in? She is appointed.
She is appointed.
I think she's being sworn in. Oh,
Oh, she was hoping to be.
oh, you haven't been done yet?
No,
Why? She's not
because I
there?
haven't come up.
Oh, I thought, when we were downstairs, I thought you were coming right up with it.
No, because I do not doing the stairs.
Oh,
Into the stairs, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, I think that we should all be able to vote, whether we're sworn in or not. Unless we have some kind of rule to the contrary.
does anyone want to discuss and make a motion as to what we should do in this case? Should we, in fact, we know that she's appointed, should we, can we just, I think at this point, it would be to the agreement of the rest of the board to see whether we trust that she's a good member and standing and can vote. All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Kathy, you can vote. Here comes Claire. Here comes
I
Claire.
don't know if I have enough copies. I have to make a couple more.
Okay, next order, so we know who's voting. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes of August 9th, which you have. Are there any concerns, omissions, corrections, anything?
I have a question.
Yes,
It says here, Rick's located the policies on social media, harassment, et cetera. And they're gonna be made available to us. When?
Should have been today.
Thank you.
I don't think they're all online. I don't believe I can just email them to you. But I will certainly have them next time.
Okay,
It's just a copy that I didn't get them today.
okay.
Okay, any other omissions, corrections, changes? Can I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, now it comes to reports, and I really don't have a report. I can go back sort of in my memory at this point and say that all of the activities seem to be going well. The walking group has emerged and blossomed into its own little group so that I put out a message Monday through Thursday to, I think, 11 people now, and we have a couple more signed up today to do it. I will figure that out. And in the morning, I usually send out a message that it's a beautiful day, good morning, and are you walking, yay or nay, when and where? So we have 2 walking groups. We have one at 9. Thank you. And they will say yay at 9, and we usually walk from the senior center or the town hall, and everybody chooses the route they want to do that morning. And then the other group, who some of us are wimps about heat and humidity, so we walk at 9, and the rest of them would rather walk later in the day. So there's a group that walks, thanks to Paul and Diane for allowing us to park in their yard, and they walk down Grace Lane and back. And it's shady and it's 11 o'clock. The neat thing about it is I think it's gone beyond just saying yay or nay to walking. It's gone to, I hope, Becky, you're feeling well. I hope Liz is well, the whole thing. And it's very nice. It comes from my phone, but with the chain, everyone walking, whether it's a 9 o'clock group, 11 o'clock group, everybody can converse with each other about what they need to say that day. Some people will say, sorry, I'm hurting real bad today, can't do it. And they get a wealth of, oh, I'm sorry you're hurting today. I hope you feel better. The whole thing. Do you need anything? Can I bring you in a COVID test? Can I, it's become a very nice little group, or 2 groups, actually 1 group, but kind of 2 different times. And no one has to walk alone. If you choose to, and some people are fine with it because it's the time of day that they need, that's fine. But for the most part, everybody can look at the chain on my phone and say, okay, Becky's walking, I'll go walk with Becky. Or, I was thinking you were Gail, but Gail is walking at 9, or Claire is walking at 11. They all see and they know that they have someone to walk with, which I think is a wonderful thing. So the walking group has kind of blossomed. The Zumba Gold at Rutland Senior Center, I think those of you who have attended, the room is enormous. You don't bump into each other. It's air conditioned. It's loud. It has a very high ceiling, and sometimes Melanie's directions you can't hear over the music bounding off the walls. We've had anywhere from 2 to 4 Rutland people join us each week. We're up to 6 or 7 from Ocam consistently there. The Wii bowling and the cornhole is going well. If it's too hot, you wimps come inside and we bowl. And if it's really nice out, you can cornhole outside.
Yep.
So that's going well. And there are 4 or 5 men all the time.
Yeah, we pretty much have always at least 3.
Yeah,
Sometimes we have actually probably a pool of 6.
right. So that's going as well as we can expect. Again, Thursday is the walking group. Socializing in the afternoon, that's my respite. If I run around all morning, then I come here and I'll grab a cup of coffee, and I have nice people who come and visit with me, and we chat, and it's cool and quiet. And then Rick, you can report on Friday quiet times.
It's quiet.
So those are all going well. The functional fitness in New Braintree. Judy, do you know how many were there today?
14.
14. It's ranged between the 14 and sometimes upwards of 18 in New Braintree. And some of those ladies are from Ware, some are from the different parts of the Brookfields, and a good portion of them are all from OCAM. Just recently, and I have pictures for Rick of the Tina Bemis at the fire station. We made lovely fall gardens with 6 plants, and everybody seemed to enjoy that. And it went well, went quickly. It was a 10-minute deal and we were done and had beautiful things to show.
It took.
Really, right? By the time we got everything out, it was longer to unload the truck. Exactly. Yeah, because once you place the, yeah, it was done.
How many?
We had 14. There's a little concern, and it's always a concern because it takes just as much work to plan for 20 as it does to have 2 show up. So you can make all the plans you want, and as usual, people signed up and then didn't show up. So it's always a concern, and I don't know how to deal with that specifically. The blood pressure clinic went fine on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, and today was a great day. Today we had 25, I think I counted.
Flu, COVID/RSV clinic? Discussion of what to do with the open activities coordinator position and the senior center as a whole. 6. New.
There, you're showing the agenda, I think.
Yeah,
Where?
She's telling us.
she's
The
telling,
little lady's telling us the agenda.
yeah.
Oh,
Jeanette.
I have no idea.
We were
Trying to
asking
be
you.
helpful.
We were asking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're reading your mind.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
So today we had probably 25 people, and
I think about 10 new people.
okay,
I don't recognize some of the names, but I'm sure that you do.
no,
So,
no, that was what I was going to say
Yeah.
next is I think it was great to have Claire and Susan. You knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
Rick knew a lot of people. Who else? Kathy knew a lot of people. I felt like a newbie because it was sort of a wonderful reunion kind of situation with people meeting up that hadn't seen each other for a long time. And that's what I've been hoping for all the way along, to have Liz and Chris meet with Kathy, Zach, to meet with the ushers, to meet with, I mean, it was just such a nice mix and such pleasant conversation and a real reunion. I didn't know any of these people, but it was a nice reunion for those of you who did. So I think going forward, we were able to gain phone numbers and some email addresses. We had one brand new couple,
Elizabeth and Arthur.
And
Swedish.
she is an adult daycare worker, correct?
She owns.
She owns the business.
She owns the business.
Yeah.
And they're very interested in coming to the senior center
What's
and
the
support.
donation?
She made a donation to the senior center today.
Yeah, $100, which I thought was very generous.
And she's still working, so she's not available to come right away. Very interested in other town things like the library and how to get into things. So I think we will see them again.
Yes.
The other couple that are Paula and Hank. And
okay.
that was interesting. I should have mentioned that on the last Friday of August, and this is one of the concerns, we had a speaker scheduled from Heart to Home, and he's a man who suffered a traumatic brain injury and was able to recover from it to start this business of frozen meals and free delivery to seniors. And he was going to come and tell us about that. The sign up was 2 people. He was coming out of Marlboro. So I did reach out to him and say, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's worth your effort to come for the 2 people that are signed up. But in place of it, happenstance, we did a pop-up pizza party for people who showed up. And we had 3 or 4 new people walk in on our pizza party without knowing that anything was scheduled at all. And that one was Hank and Paula, and there was another gal and Bill Muka who said, what's going on here? And came in and sat and chatted, had dessert with us. So there are new activities coming up, but that was kind of a pleasant pop-up situation. And that's pretty much what I have. I think the other things that I would say are addressed under old business or new business. So
To you, Claire.
go, Claire.
So I have the financial report that I just handed out. The operating budget I've got the one for August from Lori this morning. So this is updated. We didn't do any spending in the month of August. So what you see to date, that we have remaining money of $19,721.53 is the current remaining money we have. It was the same as we had last month because we spent nothing from the operating budget. The other categories, donation, revolving account, and formula grant, once again, there's no available trial balance. So all these figures are unofficial. I'm hoping that we're going to have it for the September report.
That's what you said last month.
I know. Because right now I'm keeping an independent set of books, and that makes me always very nervous because if you make a mistake, the nice thing is we don't have too much activity. So if we make a mistake, then reconciling the books with the town, which is the budget of record, shouldn't be too hard. So anyhow, we did have for donations, we had a $200 donation in the month of August from the Graham family again. And so that brings our balance up in the donations at $8,675.77. For the revolving account, we had revenue in August of $140. We have not spent anything out of the revolving account either in July or August. So that means that our account balance has gone up to $3,955.97. And the formula grant, we had expenses in the month of August of $499, which brings us down to a balance of $2,090.26. The revolving account, the revenue that came in August is basically Zumba and functional fitness. That's where that's coming from. The expenses in August, same thing. We're spending money for paying Melanie Silva for the functional fitness and Zumba. And also that's where we incur the cost from Allison for the podiatry. I'm trying to remember her last name. Is it Williams?
Williams.
Yeah, for the podiatry. And that's what's really making up those expenses. So that's the official report. I have not seen anything yet come from Adam Frank, but I have begun running the statistics for participation for the fiscal year 2024. I'm not prepared to report on them this month. I will report on next month. I'm not finished analyzing the data. So I'll report on that next week. And Adam Frank said that he would take the annual report out of my senior center as our report. So I'm developing information right now for Rick to do the town annual report, which I believe Lucy's doing October 1st. Okay, so I'm developing that for Rick, and I think that'll actually be almost the same kind of report I would be doing for Adam Frank. So it's, one stone killing two birds here, and then I'll report on it next month. Okay. That's it for me.
And I'd like to back up just a little bit to thank Claire because her work with my senior center and getting people input and her ability to send out the Herald in a more timely fashion with less fuss and angst than we've had has been wonderful. I really appreciate that. And it was something else that you said that I was going to add to.
We developed a broadcast. We developed a contact list for the vaccine.
Right.
So when we get the official date and time and form that people will have to fill out, then we'll be able to send it out with an email.
That's now November 6th.
Okay, November 6th.
But I don't have a time.
Yeah, okay.
I just need the time.
So we're trying to do a little bit more development to be able to do broadcast messages and the like. Yeah. And the other thing is now that I have you have the official members of the COA. I will send the information to Adam Frank this month, so everything can be updated. Plus, we joined the Info Hub for Massachusetts Council on Aging.
Right.
So now, Lucy, when we talk to you about a director of, I will be able to get you into that site and you can see what
Post it online.
other people are offering for similar jobs. So you'll have information, or I'll just develop it for you, so you have comparable information.
Usually comes in email anyway.
It does,
Okay.
but I can get onto the website and see all kinds of stuff,
Right.
including what other towns are doing,
Right.
what they're paying, who's advertising. So they showed us how to get into this quote info hub that they've started. So you can get a whole bunch of information. And that's why I wanted to get us set up for the info hub. So we got ourselves set up for that. And yeah, I get the newsletter I think it's every month or every week or whenever they come out with it, I get it.
Yeah.
And so does the Council on Aging. Yeah. Mhm. But this is a new thing that they're offering. So we thought we'd take advantage of
It's
it.
just a different format though for the same information.
Is it? I don't know if maybe it is, because I don't know what the old format was. Yeah, but she added a couple other categories, she told us. So, the more information you have, the better. Yeah. So that's what we've been doing this month.
Which is a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Rick?
Secretary report, there isn't really much to report. Files. Following is, pretty much complete. So now we have methods of policies, minutes, agendas going back at least a couple of years. And I meant to have copies of all the policies that new members should be receiving today, but I'll have it next time for sure. Get a pile of that stuff ready for next time. That's it.
Okay. Any questions or anything from anyone about what's been going on? Because I know I didn't prepare well, so. What's up? Okay. All right, moving forward. Under old business, Ellie came to me a couple of weeks ago. It was tradition a while ago for the Council on Aging to do a bake sale on Election Day. When it was no longer done, the church took it over and Ellie came to see what our plans were, whether we're able to do an Election Day bake sale or will we allow the church to just continue to do it as they have been the past couple of years. And it's open to discussion as to what anyone would like to do about that.
So do you want to contribute to the bake sale
We,
on Election Day?
yeah, we could contribute to what they're gonna do. They're still gonna do
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna do it and we would participate. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Part of me says, there was a way of combining the two groups together to do it, but part of me thinks that the church is always so gracious to let us use their building whenever, that if we helped just by contributing baked goods
Yeah.
for them, that would be a nice gesture of goodwill. Yeah.
So maybe we should take an official vote.
Okay. All in favor of helping the church with an Election Day bake sale?
Right.
Any opposed?
Wait a minute, can you raise your hand longer? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I get it right? I think so.
Yeah, Barbara.
Huh?
You didn't get me.
Oh, 6, 7. 7?
Okay.
All opposed?
All opposed? And my thought on it is there are too few of us to really be able to mount what we would need to do it appropriately. So I am happy to help the church in this regard.
Where are they gonna have it? It's gonna be there.
They would have to, I believe they would stay in the church because of separation church and state.
Okay.
But we'll ask them.
I believe that's the plan.
We can always take the baked goods wherever they are.
I know, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Have cake will travel.
Could it be in the November newsletter so that any of the seniors could contribute to that?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea, Pauline.
Did you take that down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting good at muffin tops.
Yes, you are.
That's the best part anyway.
Okay. Any further discussion on the Election Day bake sale? Second one is yoga. As of today, we now have 10 people signed up for yoga. I have not communicated with Lisa until we knew that we had at least 8. I'm not sure whether her pricing has changed. What she's offering in Barry is, I believe, 8 classes for $72. However, last spring, she was doing 8 classes here for $50. And I'm not sure if she's not giving us a break. I hesitated to talk to her until I knew we had a solid group of people willing to participate. It looks like we do. So that's why it's on the agenda. Is everyone in favor of us going forward with a yoga class here in Ocam?
What's the cost?
We're not for sure. We're not for sure. It was 8 classes for $50. Her brochures for listening, I believe it's downstairs. It's 8 classes for $72. But whether she gave us a break to do the 8 for $50, I'm not sure. I have to talk to her before I know that. And I think it would be at the same time that it was offered before. Again, I have to flush that out to make sure, which was 1 o'clock on Tuesdays. So that's what I know about that.
And I think that we would also need to discuss if we're going to subsidize part of the cost, if that makes a difference for people.
Sure.
Absolutely, you know,
Okay.
so it won't hit the pocketbook as much.
But I will talk to her. I didn't, again, there's no sense saying, oh, I think we're going to have it. I think we're going to have it and not actually go forward. I'd rather have something more substantial to go forward with.
We can talk about subsidizing it next time.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. So a follow-up, if you want to put in follow-up, please, is we have to contact Lisa. And then we have to discuss about how much,
Pricing and time, I believe
pricing, time and subsidy.
I believe
Yes.
she has kept that
Slot
open for us because we had said we'll suspend for now. We'll get back to you in September when we
Yeah.
know for sure.
Then when we have the final count,
Right.
we'll know whether or not we can fit everybody downstairs without everybody grabbing each other's feet,
That and just so every,
I can't get over grabbing Edna's feet.
and it still needs to be noted that in order to even do the yoga here, all that furniture needs to be moved out of that room in order to accommodate even 8 people.
Yeah,
Just so everyone's aware that
that's where
it's
we're
not
going to
an
keep the job.
easy, it's not necessarily an easy process.
So Lucy, when you do have it in your schedule to contact the school, if maybe we could have a classroom. It would be really great for yoga, so we could, fit people.
I've already been there. I already talked to the principal.
And,
Unfortunately, every room is spoken for, and because they had to add special needs classrooms to meet the state law, there is nothing open right now.
all right, so.
All right, if there were a room open is more my question, would we be allowed to go there
I think so.
without queries, without any special?
Corey's is another question. If you weren't in contact with any of the students, you could probably get away with it. But if you were going to be in contact, and the problem for some of it was because if you needed the bathrooms, you're in contact with the students.
Yeah,
And bathrooms are never a good place to be in contact with students.
yeah. What would be good, Lucy, I'm thinking
And
now.
the bathrooms in the back part of the school, the old
Yeah, O section, yeah,
that section that has the reading room and like that.
yeah.
Those are all for.
Little kids.
Yeah.
They would never get up again from the bathroom.
That's what I was.
That's why you do
Said that,
yoga.
that was
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
thing I realized.
Yeah.
That's why you do yoga, so you can get up out of the bathroom.
I don't, when is school dismissed? Is it at 2:30?
Schools get out at just about 3:00.
About 3:00. Because I wonder, I wonder if it's worthwhile our pursuing, if we had a later yoga, we could use the gym. You know what I mean? Because
Students are gone at that point.
they're gone and the gym is a nice big space.
Right.
And we don't have to move anything. We won't have to interfere with it. So I wonder if perhaps they would be willing, if once the kids are gone, we could come in and use the gym.
There is somebody that does an after school or early evening program
Uh-huh.
that I don't think they use the gym, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure on that.
What do you feel comfortable with, Lucy? Do you feel comfortable with talking with Trish or us talking to Trish or
Oh, that's fine. I can talk to her anytime. Sure.
would you? Would you say,
It's easy to get in touch with.
with her, yeah. Would you mind if, like maybe 3:00? And then when we talk to Lisa Holloway, we can see if we can do something later on in the afternoon and then use the gym.
I would say I would not ask for anything before 3:30.
I agree.
You're hitting all the buses.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to hit the
I would want to make
buses.
sure they're out of the way.
Okay, so you
Then
can,
at least you'd have some parking space.
yeah, that's right, we would. Okay, so if you don't mind asking her,
Yeah, sure.
that'd be wonderful. Okay, and then we can go with that. If she says yes, then we can go to Lisa and say, we can do it at the school if we do it at this time.
Okay.
That'd be great.
I'll check with her on Monday.
All right, thank
I
you.
think by the time I get up there today, she'll be gone.
Yeah, okay.
How long is each class?
An hour.
An hour, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they had basketball practice coming in the evening.
Right,
they're out of the way.
Yeah.
Unless their practice starts after school and
Usually
then
does.
starts right after school.
It won't be every day.
Yeah, would-
No,
It won't be every day.
Should be one day a week for an hour.
Yeah, for yoga.
Find it.
Yeah, mm-hmm. That's it exactly.
I just think that could possibly be.
I think it's workable, yeah. More than asking for a classroom. Yeah. Okay. Lucy, can I just tell Lucy something before I forget? Because I will forget.
no.
Well, Lucy, you didn't see the ad for this open house in the Barry Gazette because I got a call last week and they let me know they forgot to put it in.
That what?
They forgot to put it in. Yeah. I was very disappointed, but it is what it is. So I just wanted to let you guys know.
Add to Ellie.
I sent the ad to their advertising manager and did all the dealing with the advertising manager who does the ads. And we sent it in at the end of August
Right.
to make sure that he had the information for September 5.
Right.
So we had it before then, like a week before, and we corresponded back and forth. He said he was all set. I said, good, thank you. I am all set. So we asked him to put the ad, we had it written up to put on the same page as Ellie's activities.
Right.
So to be together, And then he called me, it was a week ago Thursday, and said, I'm calling to apologize. I forgot to submit your ad. It won't be in the newspaper. So I said, well, don't
Well,
bother.
he did
Yeah.
suggest that he could put it in yesterday,
I said, don't
but
bother.
we don't get our paper until today anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Claire said it's going to make us look like fools in the long run if it's an ad for something that happened yesterday.
Yeah,
So we canceled it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was very disappointed. And I'm telling you because I was a little rascal. I said to him, our selectmen are going to be looking for that ad.
I did look for because I knew you said.
So I wasn't a rascal.
Well, before.
Yeah, and that's why you didn't see it.
And I thought, well, maybe you changed your mind. I wasn't sure.
That's why you didn't see it.
You ever want an ad or something put in, let me know.
Okay,
Or find Ellie,
yeah,
because Ellie comes in downstairs 2-3 times a week. So it's easy to get in touch with her.
yeah,
Because I don't go through anybody down there except Ellie.
yeah. Well, now I know why.
Easier on Ellie, but
I did send a revision of the activities to Ellie, and of course, that was no problem, you know. We had it, but I was very disappointed.
But she knows how to contact the other people quickly and
Okay, I've got my sibling demo.
Yeah, it probably helps when they know that she's looking.
it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
You can tell the guys. That's Teresa.
okay, honey, bye.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, all things considered, we did pretty good then.
Yeah.
Very upset. I didn't even look. I didn't even know.
I don't think so.
All things considered. you
Well,
know,
that traffic sign at the beginning of 148, a lot of people
Saw
mentioned
that.
to me that they saw it.
Yeah.
Yes, and we're so grateful to the highway department for getting that and to Maribel, because that was so fast. I asked one day and the next day it was there. It was so fast. Yeah. Okay, so.
Okay, the next is pickleball cornhole at Pine Acres. We did receive an email from, I can't remember her name. It wasn't from Randy himself, but it was from their activities director, offering for us to do pickleball and cornhole at Pine Acres midweek, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, at no charge. And again, until I saw what kind of response we had today, I didn't act on it because we didn't know exactly what we were doing. And for that, we have 3 people signed up
pickleball.
for pickleball. And the cornhole, I assumed it was the same group that would probably go over, and maybe a couple more if they learned of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know your pleasure. I did try to I did email them and suggest, they also offered us Zumba Gold in January, starting in January. We couldn't use the lodge now, and then they allow their staff vacation near Christmas, so we could start doing Zumba in the lodge there in January. I didn't pursue that. I suggested, and it hasn't been received yet, evidently by Randy or Denise, that it would be nice if we could pay our instructor and use their facility, but allow their campers during the season to come and join us to do the activity. If we're paying the instructor, we're just using the lodge basically, and allowing them to come in. And I have not heard back that it has to be Denise and Randy that make that decision. And I haven't heard back on that because I haven't got back to them on the cornhole or anything either because of our situation. My feeling about January, and it's open to suggestion, is that we have a secure spot right now in Rutland for Wednesdays at 9:00 for Zumba. If we were to take Randy and Denise up on this idea of going to the lodge in January, we give up that space in Rutland. And when their season opens, if they do not accept the fact that we could have the instructor and their campers could come in, we are back in the same position of looking for a home again. Personally, I think we're safer to stay with Zumba in Rutland if it's a permanent situation, or at least a semi-permanent situation, longer going forward. Otherwise, we're constantly reinventing the wheel and finding a place to go. So I'd like to know your feelings on the pickleball and cornhole and Zumba at Pine Acres. I think it's a wonderful offer that they've made. We're grateful for their willingness to do that. How should we act on it?
Well, let's separate the questions.
Okay,
I think that the pickleball and cornhole would be much better there than here.
yes,
So I think that's one we would definitely be interested in. I think the Zumba Gold's another question.
I feel that you gotta leave Zumba Gold alone. Because,
You don't want to switch it back and forth.
people are just gonna get so confused.
every time we move somewhere, we lose members. So there are a number of ladies from North Brookfield, one lady from Ware, There might be a couple others that I'm not thinking of, that for them, it's too far to come to Rutland. So we've already lost them. We've picked up a couple in Rutland, but if we keep moving, it's just
Not
not.
gonna be like, where are they this month?
You want a stable schedule because I know all of us are scheduling our medical appointments way out in the future. And so this way, if we know a date and a time, we can schedule our appointments around that.
And it's one less hassle.
Yeah, and otherwise I'm gonna have to ask Ellie to keep changing it in the Barry Gazette.
Right.
Also, the other thing I've written down, and I talked with Barbara, I looked at our town website and that's dreadfully out of date. So the next thing that we're gonna have to approach is updating our, what we have on the town site. And I want to be able to update it and say, okay, that's one less thing we have to update.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is everyone in favor if I contact Pine Acres to schedule? It would be starting now through December 1st, probably.
Say Tuesday, Wednesday.
I'll have to define which day that is. I will ask for Tuesday since that's the day we normally have scheduled. And do that just for pickleball and cornhole. And thank them graciously for the offer for Zumba Gold in January and stay where we are.
I think diplomatically it makes sense because they make an offer and we've accepted part of it, so I think that diplomatically it's good.
Right. And for Melanie, it's good. She's doing the Zumba Gold in Rutland and they have hired her to do a dance party class right after it. So she has 2 classes in a row in Rutland. She already has a possibility there for us, so.
So if it rained on the day we were supposed to be there for pickleball, cornhole, we would just cancel out. We'd have bowling here maybe.
Whatever you'd like, whatever you'd like.
But we have to ask
A
them,
little more
right?
confusing.
Wouldn't you have to ask if you can move the cornhole inside? At Pine Acres?
No, he said,
Yeah, I think there's more, they have a real setup for the cornhole.
Oh, they do?
Yes,
Oh,
outside.
Sorry.
outside,
So it's just a question of what to do with bowling. Should we keep it there or bring it back here?
right,
if it
Yeah.
rains?
right.
Probably bring it back here, I'm thinking.
Well, let me know, because I gotta let Ellie know to change your article. And then I can ask her to put in bold print.
I think we need to get that finalized before the next Herald so that directive can be in the Herald and people can
Yeah.
see that. So they're not going to Pine Acres in the rain to look for whatever. They know it's here.
So I can get the information to Ellie too.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
So we agreed on that unanimously? Is that-
All in favor? I guess is there any discussion? I'm feeling that we don't really need to take a vote. I really want advisement more than a vote as to how to proceed.
I think don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat.
Where it is,
Yeah.
I don't do it, but still, if I did.
So what I hear is Zumba Gold remains in Rutland.
Yes.
Cornhole would move to Pine
Pine
Acres
Acres with pickleball,
with pickleball.
unless it rains.
Unless it rains, then no cornhole is canceled and Wii bowling is substituted and will be at the town center.
Right. Yes, good. Okay. The next one is the flu COVID RSV clinic. I've been in touch with Joanne and Paul Thompson in New Braintree. Miriam Nyant and Sandy Knight came one day and said, would you guys be interested in us doing a flu clinic? VNA nurses do not do clinics anymore. Would we be interested? How? We're interested, I think. How would you like us to proceed? If CVS comes, they need a guarantee of 45 people to do it. We, until that day, did not know that we could reach out quite so
So we sent out
quickly.
a broadcast message and got immediate responses.
So we already have 26 people signed up as a tentative because we sent out an interest only because we didn't have a time, date, or place. We thought it would be here. Reaching out to New Braintree, they asked because they are joining with Hardwick, if they could have the clinic held in New Braintree because it would be equidistance for us and for Hardwick. It would be a central location. So they reached out. Miriam had suggested November 4th, and none of us were aware because it's November. That's election day. So when they went to ask the Board of Selectmen for use of the town hall, they said no, because it's election day, we can't do that. The new tentative date is November 6th. Which we have to do, and I have a query into Miriam as to what time of day she would like. They already have the approval of the town hall in New Braintree for November 6th. And what you will do, you bring your insurance information. You may choose, you don't have to get all of those vaccines. You may choose the vaccines that you want. So the email that we will send out
Has the form attached.
has the form attached for them to sign up. And when we get the time, it will have the definitive time and date, and we'll have to just assess whether we get all 26, 28 people again on that date. It went out without a date at all. It went out just as an interest survey.
But now we have Hardwick and New Braintree added to our totals, right?
Right, yeah. So hopefully they can get another 20 people and we're okay.
I think we're going to be fine.
And then I think what's going to happen is or Miriam is going to say, okay, CVS, this is our time and date, be there. And hope that that works.
Barbara, we should probably ask if CVS wants a count of each vaccine, of
Right.
RSV.
Right.
So we would have to tell our people, which ones do you want, and please advise us so we can have those vaccines.
When we send it out, that form, will we get copies of that form?
Unless we specify to them, mail the form back to us, we will not.
Okay, because that would tell us.
Yeah,
Because
so
those questions are on the form.
we would have to tell them, fill this out and send it back to us. And I hope they know how to do that.
Well, that's another whole.
But if they
question.
don't, they can just run up the form to the town hall. That's all.
Any questions on that? Becky?
There is an issue with that though, because when you watch TV, they tell you should have your flu shot by the beginning of October. So now if you tell people they gotta wait until the beginning of November. I know I myself, my husband wants his flu shot as soon as possible. So if we're not gonna get it until November, we're probably gonna end up going to Walgreens to get it.
Right, and that's part of this. Miriam said that it's a 4-week, get everything together with CVS, get it all in order. So it's 4 weeks, so we need to have it done soon in order to get it within the time so that we can schedule it for November.
But Becky, because they're offering, all 3 or 1 or 2, whatever the combination. So like in my case, I probably get the COVID, pretty fast, and maybe the flu, but I would certainly sign up here for RSV.
I think you can get any of them or all of them though.
Yes, but you can pick and choose.
Yeah,
For example, for us, Sandy just had COVID. So he has a kind of an immunity for a while. He would not want to get the shot until later on because he already has the immunity so that the shot would last longer. So maybe if you went and got your flu shot, you just had COVID, maybe you'd want to wait and come to this clinic for a COVID shot later on.
Okay.
So there may be lots of people in situations.
So it wouldn't matter then if I was getting 1 shot or 3 shots?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can get 1, you can get 2, you can get 3.
Okay, then yeah, that
And that
would
wasn't,
be right. Then
We would have to make that clear in the email.
and that was a question because there were some people that said, I don't want to get all the shots at
Yeah,
once,
I'm one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
that sort of thing.
Time.
So that's why she sent out the form the way it is, where there are choices as to what you can get.
Yeah, because I know most people don't want to get COVID when they're getting the other ones.
Right. Last year I got COVID and RSV, and I don't know if you remember the black arm that I had for weeks. But that wasn't the vaccine. That was whatever. I don't know. So Okay, so we're moving forward. This is just informational because we're moving forward with this whole thing until we know more. And if we don't get the numbers, then we don't get the numbers.
If we don't get the numbers, we're gonna see if the other two towns have the numbers.
Right.
And then,
Right.
as long as they get to 45,
So you're thinking it's gonna be what date?
November 6th.
November 6th.
They have approval from their Board of Selectmen for use of the town hall at that day.
Elections on
Okay.
Monday.
So,
Elections at the fifth.
it was November 4th.
I thought it was November 4th.
That was Tuesday, Super Tuesday.
I don't know.
I don't have my calendar here, so.
That's what New Braintree.
So that's the fifth. Because the.
New Braintree, well, maybe it's because they have to set up. I'm not
Right,
sure.
right.
Yeah, they just said it's election day. That's all I heard. Election day,
The fifth is
whatever.
a Tuesday, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, so it may be their setup that would prevent it. Okay. And moving forward, with our situation, should we consider applying for Arts Council grants?
What is it?
At the Arts Council grants, if any of you took part in the Hartman's wreath this spring or the Hartman's herb garden, those were both subsidized or paid for by the Arts Lottery Council here in Ocam. We applied for those grants last fall. I believe the applications come out about the 1st of October and need to be in. There's an end date for that also.
The 15th.
I have not checked into that as yet, again, because I didn't know our situation.
Of October or November, Lucy?
October, I believe.
Okay, so they issue it, the form comes out on October 1st, you have 2 weeks to apply?
You have until October 15th to send it in. They will tell you usually around January
Oh,
whether
okay,
you get it or not.
okay.
Although we never heard this year. We had to inquire on our own because what we were going to use it on were March and May, I believe. And we have never had a communication from them telling us that we were granted. So we called, we were told we were granted. We put in all the forms for reimbursement, and I've never been contacted by anyone from Arts Lottery.
That's okay, because I called them.
Yes, exactly.
You know what's even better,
That's
Lucy?
what we have
It's
to
in the
do.
trial balance.
Yeah.
So Linda said to me, I don't know if we reimbursed you. And I
Right.
said, I'm looking at the trial balance. And you did. She said, thank you. I didn't even think of looking at the
So
trial
it's the
balance.
kind of thing you apply and then it can be out of sight, out of mind, and you
Yeah.
have to remember to go and ask to see if it was in fact granted.
So we
We'll
decided.
try a different approach this year. We'll say, we're just confirming you granted us the grant, right?
And it's ideas for what kinds of things you want to apply for.
I think we should always go for free money.
Is it one grant or?
You can apply, no, it's a grant per project.
Mm.
Okay.
So I think we ought to go
So-
for Barbara. I do.
We ought to apply for them.
I think so.
For what?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. That we've got to come up with.
Right.
Yeah, I would think it's grant by grant.
Yeah.
It's- Do we want to apply for this? Do we want to apply for that? So I'm not sure what I'm voting on.
But you have to tell them what
We
you
get to
want the money
choose-
for.
We get to choose what we want the money for.
Mhm, mhm.
So Hartman's isn't listed as a place that you normally would say, this is a grant for Hartman's. You say to the Arts Lottery people, we want a grant because we're going to provide a workshop by Hartman's to do this, this, and this, and it's going to cost this much. Will you grant us that much money?
Okay, so do we need to know what we're applying the grant for?
Right.
Okay, so do we have any?
I have a proposal. The Hartmans do a beautiful dried herb wreath.
Yes.
And that's the type of thing that's really nice thing to have, you know, is a dried
Is
herb
that for
wreath.
the holiday season?
You can have it for any time of the year.
I thought we had something.
We
set up
have
with
Bemis set up for December,
Yeah, the first.
but that has nothing to do with the grant.
Yeah, yeah. And so I would ask to do that maybe in the spring.
That's basically what we did this
Yeah.
spring, the lemon leaf.
Yeah, the wreath.
Yeah,
Right.
everybody likes a nice herb wreath.
Is there enough interest in another autobiography grouping
You have no idea.
No.
If that's a suggestion,
You got
we
a sign
can,
up sheet.
Anyway, I think Betty Libby is interested in that, so it might.
There is a sign up sheet. You only got 2 or 3 people sign up, so it's
I
not.
can't hear you.
I'm sorry. We did the sign up sheet for the writing group. We only got 2 or 3 names on it,
Okay,
Mhm.
so we haven't really taken it the next step.
I wanted to accept a grant proposal that says, it would be either from Hartman's for a dried herb wreath or an autobiography if we can get enough interest, because, either one or the other. I don't see why they wouldn't deny us a grant for one or the other.
we did Zentango years ago too, and we had a big audience for that.
What's
still do it.
Zentangle?
Yeah. Zentangle is a doodle. It's a registered doodle. I made greeting cards out of
Oh,
doodles.
okay,
And it was a
okay.
class that showed you how to create these designs out
Yeah.
of doodles.
Okay,
That was open to community too, because.
Yes, it was.
Younger people in that group.
It was during a
Okay.
school vacation and there were children and
Okay.
everything that took part.
yeah,
And there may be something like that for grandparents taking care of grandchildren. There may be something, maybe a puppet show or something like that we could apply for that might attract grandparents with children or even community members during school vacation when kids can come.
People in the
So-
childhood.
Yes, yes.
so, if we had that suggestion, but if we have a big poster board that says suggestions and had suggested those and said, please sign up, so we see what the interest is. And start doing it now, so we have something for October,
Yeah.
Personally,
no,
I agree with you, except
getting people
that
up
it's
here.
getting people here to sign anything. And I think we would be better served now that we know we have 65 people on an email list to do
Yeah.
a broadcast email saying we're interested in doing this. What are your suggestions? And see what we get back.
Yeah, okay, give them the 3 suggestions, say vote on one.
Right.
And if you don't like any of them, then suggest something else.
And
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Pauline has.
One other thing that went over good was the eggs. We decorated the
Ukrainian
yeah,
eggs.
yeah.
The 2 eggs, one was a dummy egg to practice, and then the other
Yeah.
one was, and that was well attended to.
Who offered the class, Pauline?
Tell you, bet Lucy knows.
I'd have to go back and check.
Check your records and
We
see who it was.
kept the newspaper article for such a long time on the bulletin board downstairs.
But that was a fun project. We had a lot of people in on that.
Yeah, that would be good for Easter.
Yes.
That would be excellent for Easter.
I got my seat.
Would you apply for all possible grants by October 1st?
Right.
So you got to apply for 3 or 4 at once?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they have a committee that sits down, reviews them,
Yeah.
and they apportion different groups in the town to make sure that the money is appropriated appropriately through, whether it's young people, the elderly, whatever it might be, concerts on the common, those kinds of things are all covered by some of those grants.
I think that the council,
Pardon me?
Coming from Parks and Rec and the Council on Aging separately?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
And
the,
perhaps the library, and
Dried flowers.
they all put in their applications.
cultural council is down numbers.
Little decorative.
So I think it's making it slower for them to respond
Yeah, I did
because
that.
they're advertising for
Right.
volunteers.
Right.
Yeah.
I did it for quite a few years. So.
So Easter egg, herb wreath, we said Zentangle and autobiography, right?
Yep.
I'm trying to, I did a download out of my senior center of emails. And now I'm using formulas in Excel to load them into R65 and see if I can add more. So I have a comprehensive list.
I did have.
Or actually the other way
I left my phone
around.
Downstairs, I
Yeah.
think, but I did get
If you want me to get any information, you got
from Melanie,
All right.
someone who does
We
concerts
were at the
free
senior center.
for senior centers, so that might be another one.
It's free. You don't need to put a grant in for it.
Well, I think it's free because they assume that you're getting the grant for it. I think
Oh.
that's what it is.
Oh.
There's a list, there's quite an extensive list of those people who have skills that would use a grant. You know, they'd say, we'd be happy to do this, apply for the grant to get it. A clerk, a concert, Melanie sent a thing, and I'll show it to you when I
Okay.
find my phone downstairs.
And also Sandy offered to do a concert around Easter too.
Yes, he did.
The
No, I can't do Christmas. We already tried that. They're booked.
the Greendale Club.
Yep.
The Greendale Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we need to make proposals for each one of these projects? Or do we just need to
We
list
need-
titles?
We have to know the particulars, how many people would attend, which populations it would serve as far as how many people in the community do you feel that that are going to participate in it? How much is it going to cost per person? There's a whole list on the application of those kinds of things. And you need to have a particular, oftentimes the people who come forth that you could use a grant for have a flyer that will say, we do concerts or we do puppet shows, and they list all their particulars.
So what I would do, to get this out is I would go to Ellie again, under the activities and stuff, her column. And I would say, would you publish this? And I would ask her to give her some formatting and stuff. So it brings it out and say, call the senior center or email the senior center and let us know if you're interested, and if so, which one or which ones, plural, you're
I
interested
think we
in.
really need to get definitive information on each one of those
Yeah.
ideas before we do that. But because there are artists out there and they have all that information, it's up to us to go and find
Dig it out, dig it out.
Dig it out.
But once we dig it out,
I
then
know.
we can
That's
put
why
it in the
I'm-
Barry Gazette to reach more people. And then by that time, I should have the combination of all the emails between the different websites that we have, so that we have,
Be getting vendors, they're already probably emailing.
they're emailing like nuts.
Right.
And if that lady sends me another email about those postcards,
Postcard. There's two postcard ladies in there. They'll
I
drive you
will
nuts.
scream.
We don't have as many of the people looking for service by an arts lottery grant. We don't have those kinds of artists. They're more ads for Etsy and things like that we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of those,
Yeah.
but not as many for the actual performers that are looking to be.
Yeah, because usually the performers
I know.
will do all the work themselves. You don't
Right.
have to do any of
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want it badly enough to have
Yeah.
those jobs filled in.
Yeah. I'll keep my eyes peeled, Yeah, because I go through the emails, see what's coming in. Yeah.
Even for Tina Bemis, you could get
Yes.
to do her too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely can.
And in a way, that's easier for us because it's a repeat and
Yeah.
information is easy for us to gather instead
Yeah.
of looking for somebody new. Okay. So we should apply.
I do.
Okay.
Think so, absolutely.
Discussion of what to do with the open activities coordinator position and the senior center as a whole. Any conversation?
All right, who's going to start on the hot potato?
I'll start it.
Okay.
I think there's a question about replacing Melanie's position as was. She actually did a great job, I think. She had all kinds of activities laid out. But we didn't get a whole lot of participation. And the question I think needs to be asked is whether the $12,000, whatever it would be for that salary, is well spent for the kind of turnout that we had for it. So I think it's a question. The next question is, what are the alternatives to that? Do we want to make the position larger so that the person can be here more often and really help punch at these events? Should we think of the position differently? As, for instance, say, move more towards a community center concept where the senior center is part of the activities that are being programmed. But this person might program for the whole town. So I think there's some different ways of thinking about this from here. I don't have a strong opinion on it, but I think that's the kind of thing we ought to talk about.
I have a strong opinion in piggybacking on what you say. Number one, at the conference we went to, there were a number of communities where the directors were community center directors serving the elderly in their community center. So it was a dual job. I do not see it as worthwhile to have an activities director per se. I think it should
Senior
be
center.
for the senior center. I think it should be a part-time director that has an umbrella of more duties than just making phone calls and perceiving who's going to come and entertain or what activity we're going to do. I think we need more coverage than that. You guys asked me to stay on until we got Melanie's decision, and I have, and I'm done. I cannot go to 3 towns. I cannot be here for every event that's here, and I have been for 2.5 years, and I can't do it. My own, oh God,
And me too. I think you got that from me.
are you sending it my way? My own personal life, I need to take into advantage, my health, the whole thing. I can't keep doing
What
this.
would you like to see?
I would like to see a part-time director that oversees a lot of what we do. I don't think you're aware, and I'm not complaining, but the AV stuff, somebody needs to know how to operate the AV stuff. I had to learn all of that from Melanie did that. I had to learn all of that from Melanie so that the Wii can operate and the DVD player can operate. The ordering of supplies. Now, it's not just paper and ink, which goes through Maribel. There's things for the coffee. There's things for any of the activities that we do, whether it's, I don't know, food, whether it's snacks for coffee, whether it's cups for coffee, all of those kinds of things. It goes beyond that. All right, now we need an agenda. I have a rolling itinerary in my mind all the time. I can't do that anymore. I just can't live like that. It's day to day to day. I get home and I think I'm done for the day, and yet there's always one more question to be solved. And I can't do it. I just can't do it.
So, Lucy, that's 3 votes, you know, after thinking about this and with us filling in for Melanie, which was very revealing. Yep. You get 3 votes, 1, 2, 3, to replace the position. But part of what Barbara and I did, because we've been filling in, we said, okay, we will have suggestions for you for the duties that we would be expecting out of this person.
Right.
So we'd probably be able to flesh that out a bit for you so that if when you went to go for a position, you would have input for us about what we need to have this person do, because we are really pooped, you know?
I mean, it goes down to things, it goes down to things like this week. And we are all stretched to the maximum in a lot of ways between our own health issues, our appointments or whatever. This week, Sandy could not do Wii bowling because of a commitment that he had. So he says to Rick, you're on. And Rick says, I have a commitment. So Wii bowling gets canceled. There's no one else to cover. Okay. Coffee. Kathy's great to come and sit for coffee with me. If I don't show up and Kathy's not here, there's no coffee.
And because it changed to Mondays, that's my appointment.
Exactly. That's your appointments day. And I totally understand. We all have those appointments. If this morning, Judy was nice enough to drive to New Braintree to get the attendance and the money from Functional Fitness. I go, well, that was today because I was here. We don't have enough people to cover everything that we do, and things just get canceled. And if that's what you want for the future of the senior center, that's fine. But when you see new people coming in and now we have a little more adequate way of reaching out to people. But other than that, it's an untenable situation. And I feel like a revolving door. I get home and then, all right, now you're in Rutland and now you're in New Braintree and now you're back in Oakham and now I just can't do
No,
it
it's
anymore.
worse than that, because I came in here and I figured I'm going to quickly do an email.
Yep.
And 3 hours later,
Later.
I'm crawling out the door.
And I'm with you now, and I'm like, and I'm with you.
No.
And we all have our own family things to do. Yesterday, I started at 7 in the morning and I got home at 9:30 last night because I wanted to see my grandson's football game. I can't keep that kind of a schedule. It's not physically possible.
So that's 3 votes to replace the position. Us people that have been trying to fill in, we'll be giving you the things that we feel.
It's not just replacing the position, it's expanding the position.
Right.
Well, that's why I say we will be giving you the input of what we need in the position.
It is an important position because somebody needs to be here. It's, whether it's perceived or real in everybody's mind, somebody needs to be here.
So what I'm saying is
Paul
replace
put his hand up. He did this the other night
Oh,
for about a
yeah.
half hour, so.
No, I understand the need for a part-time director, but I think as far as research, should also consider a couple other options. One might be to see if the town of Rutland would consider taking on OCAM and what the assessment would be.
Mhm.
Okay, and I think probably North Brookfield could be approached for the same thing, which would give a basic idea what it would cost to be outsourcing the services that the residents in town need, okay? I don't think Barry could be a consideration because they've already taken on another town. I don't think they would take a third town in.
Right now, they have a bit of an issue too.
So I would just suggest that as research anyways. And that would also give you a little more research on what the value would be of the part-time director's position. So when you approach the town and say, to get a person like this, it would have to be roughly X amount of dollars. And just to show you, if we outsourced, it was going to cost this or cost that, it would give, the residents an opportunity to understand
Why?
why it's going to cost what it's going to cost.
I don't know if do we have the authority to go and meet with Rutland, or is that the Board of
So
Selectmen?
I don't think you would need the authority to do the research, okay? Because this way you're getting the information to be able to present it. Okay, to ask another board to do your research, you don't know if they're going to approach it in the way that you would or get the information that you actually want. And I don't think anybody would deny you from researching cost.
I agree.
I'll tell you, Paul, if we replace this position, it would be for the remainder of the year, and that would give us time to do the research. On the Info Hub, I can go to any town
Right.
in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I can see all their salaries.
But you could actually go to the 2 towns that would be able to possibly
Yep,
provide that service, okay? Which
Yeah.
is just as important as what everybody else is paying anywhere else.
so what I'm saying is, if, for example, we go to Rutland, Spencer, if you want to do complete research, Rutland, Spencer, the adjoining towns, North Brookfield, adjoining town, so that you have a comparison. And at the same time, if we say, no, we don't want to go with that option, but we want to go with a resource here in the town, the Info Hub lists for every town, all positions and the salaries. And you can also see all the jobs that are being posted by all the towns and how much the salary is paying.
I think that's worthwhile. I think a lot of those are going to be full-time jobs.
That's why I wanted to join the Info Hub.
So what you're looking for is those who are part-time directors.
Yeah.
Then still you'd want to know what their duties are, what their hours are for that salary.
Well,
So I think Paul's right. We still need to do some research here.
no, I'm not, I'm saying it's a twofold, it's two-pronged. But if you fill the position, you buy yourself time for that. Because if we don't get somebody to do some of this work, we're not going to be able to do research.
No.
And just as a sideline, should the town decide to refurbish this particular building, okay, they're gonna have to move everybody out of here. So that would be the end of the senior center for several months,
Yeah,
possibly over a year.
yeah, okay, well.
So I mean, just keep that in the back of your head too.
Yeah. So, no matter how you look at it, we want to fill this position for at least a year. We will provide input on what we would want this person to do, so we give guidance to the select board, so they don't advertise and the person has an idea they're going to do X, and they meet with us and we say, oh, no, you're going to do Y. So that way, we'll be coordinating efforts, and then once we get somebody to take the load off, then we can start doing the research. But I would suggest if you want to do thorough research, it's Rutland, Spencer, North Brookfield, the adjoining towns,
And Leicester, maybe.
and probably Leicester, because you
we
have to
already
be
have people who
fair.
go to Leicester for
Yes.
some of their activities. New Braintree.
And,
Somebody will ask you for New Braintree.
and we'll research New Braintree.
However, New Braintree does not necessarily have a place to
Yeah.
meet either.
Yeah,
It's my understanding that they don't have any place to meet.
but
either.
to be fair, someone is going to ask about New Braintree, and we should at least have that information.
Right.
So that it is a complete picture, not a partial picture. And I certainly would not want to be criticized for being prejudicial.
Would it be,
It's let the facts speak for themselves.
would it be to our benefit to appoint a committee willing to do that research?
Well, I think so.
I would do research. I won't do what I'm doing now.
That's why we
Do
got to,
both.
that's why we got to get the person in here. Then we can start the research.
I can't do both.
I can do the
I can
research.
add one more thing on to
Yeah.
to what we do now.
I could do the research on the info hub, because that's,
Right.
And would they accept us?
That's another.
well, that's all part of the research. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of factors. So probably, I think we should have a committee, and then I should think that there's certain categories that we want to hit on.
Right.
So every town gets the same questions,
Right.
so you can make a good comparison between them, So is that an offer to join the committee?
That would depend. It's my opinion after seeing everything that Barbara does and everybody else does. It's my opinion that if you're going to try and keep the senior center open, having various activities and what have you, you need either an activities coordinator or preferably a director that sits at the head.
Right.
And then that director has certain jobs. Other people volunteer to help the director.
Right.
And if those volunteers, for some reason, say they're making appointments and they can't do it for a day, it goes back to the director. That's what the director is for.
And I never signed on to be a director.
Right.
The
Right.
Council on Aging is advisory only.
Right.
In the past year, everything has been dropped and dropped
Right.
and dropped, and I can't do it anymore.
And that's the thing, you have to have, usually if you look at it from a nonprofit position, if you're trying to get something for a certain day or a certain week, it's usually ahead of time. So you go to your volunteers, whoever they are, and say, okay, which of you can do this? Which of you can do this? Which of you can do this? So you know ahead of time that she's not going to be sitting there doing the whole thing all by herself. She's going to have volunteers.
And I will speak to the fact that Becky and Judy have been absolutely wonderful in stepping up to do the podiatry.
But I haven't helped anywhere near as much as I would have liked to.
Yeah.
And I hear that all the time, and it's not your fault. It's the fact that we are all old. And we all have our health issues. We all have our appointments. We all have our families
Exactly.
that we still have to take care of.
That's why I say, if they had a director, because more than likely, if there was a director, the director would not be of our ages. That's right.
Right.
So if the jobs that were appointed to the various volunteers couldn't be done, the director would go back and do it. To me, that's the only way this thing is going to survive. If you want to keep it as a senior center, you have to have somebody at the head of the table.
I have already talked to Nancy in Rutland when we arranged the Zumba Gold in Rutland. I talked to Nancy before she actually agreed to do that. And I was telling her our situation, and she said, you are never going to survive on just volunteers doing everything because there's no actual responsibility. The responsibilities of volunteers don't necessarily lie with the senior center. They lie with their personal needs,
Right.
whether it's a doctor's appointment, whether it's a family emergency, whatever it is. So she said you need, in her mind, and that's where I got the idea of a part-time director,
Exactly.
where someone picks up the slack, because that's what I feel like I'm doing. Somebody drops the ball. Okay, if it's on the calendar, I don't want people coming to the door and having it locked with no indication of why.
Right.
That's not fair. So you tend to be here, but I can't do it anymore.
That's why if we had a director or
Exactly.
activities coordinator or whatever you want to call them.
Right. I think it's more than activities, Becky. That's why I say director.
But then you could have like if she asked you if you could do this on this particular
Right.
week,
Right.
then you would know that you had that slot. You wouldn't have any doctor's appointments, so unless an emergency came up, you'd be able to do it.
And
But you need to have help.
my calendar has become the senior center calendar, and my appointments are either before 10 o'clock in the morning or after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that includes everything from my home and my medical, everything. I can't say, oh, on Wednesdays I have, or whatever. It's every day, and I just can't do it.
Can I just give you one point of information? And that is, when we met with the selectmen, they were ready to post for the position right away. There was no question asked, they were ready to post. We asked them to wait because we were waiting for this open house to see what would happen. And we figured it would tell us what direction to go in. The fact that people came and we had like 10 new people and stuff, okay, we're going to continue. We're going to give it the effort. Okay, so we're at the point now. In the meantime, we were gathering, we're going to move forward, but we have to tell the select board because they have to advertise. And we can put it on the info hub too. So now what Barbara and I discussed was, okay, we were talking about all the stuff that we would want this person to do. So now we've got to formalize the list, got to get it to the board of selectmen and say, go. And when you have the job posting, let us know. We'll put it on the info hub too, because that goes out all over Massachusetts.
But at the same time too, are you going to try and estimate how many hours a week you're going to need this?
It's already in the budget. It's already in the budget.
That budget's locked in.
Problem is, you can call the position what you want.
Yeah.
Call it a director. That doesn't mean the
Because
situation's any different than it was before.
Right.
I don't know that Melanie had enough hours
Yeah.
to do all the jobs.
We boosted them up.
We boosted up her hours,
We
but
boosted and the pay. That's how we got the 20,800, but that's locked in. That is the operating budget.
right. And that doesn't say that she'll be able to accomplish, he, whoever will be able to accomplish what is required in the 12 hours. I've been here close to 15 hours a week.
Well, that's why I say that between you
Exactly.
and then Melanie, and I know Melanie used to work when she would get home.
Right.
So obviously the hours that she had were not enough.
Yeah, I think this is
And
a
that's what
situation, Lucy, that we can't go to the reserve account for the, no, because this is not an emergency.
For anything this year.
Yeah, okay, and that going to the reserve account for the finance committee is emergency only
Yeah, no.
and not because you miscalculated on your budget. So we are locked into $12,800.
Okay.
We're locked into salary rate and the hours.
Yeah, I think in terms of what you were saying before about using this position to carry us through until we can make a more long-term permanent decision.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to have a problem. That person isn't going to be able to cover all the hours.
No, they're not. So, but we've got to put, they're probably going to need some backup. So I had told Barbara, I wanted them to do the computer stuff. Well, forget it, I'll do it. Because it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
It is for me.
I can do it, no problem. I'll just continue doing that. That's it. Take that off the plate. But just make sure that she knows that if she needs to add people to tell me so I can add them. That's all. And that would be the extent of her duties. So, we need to look at that, what we sketched out on that afternoon when we were frustrated. And make it more realistic, that the person can realistically accomplish it.
Priscilla?
Bite us through.
Priscilla had a question.
But just a statement.
Yeah.
I agree with Becky. I think we need something, someone, whatever her title's gonna be,
Yeah,
him or whatever, younger person. I
Younger, definitely.
Agree with that, if at all possible,
Mhm.
you know.
you gotta be careful on that. That's age discrimination.
Yeah.
You cannot say a word. You gotta button the lip.
Trust me, will you please discriminate? Please discriminate, please discriminate.
The only reason why I say that though is because I know like in my family, my husband has doctor's appointments and I have doctor's appointments. And like Barbara, they are all over our calendar every single month.
I know.
No, mine aren't. Mine are before senior center and after senior
But
center.
they're on every single day or every single.
Exactly.
Whatever.
But you must use neutral language. That is mandatory.
Please, you know.
You can
if
age discriminate me.
Maybe wouldn't have any doctor's appointments like we do.
So did you finish what you were saying?
I just think, we do need something.
You need somebody. Yeah, yeah,
Obviously, we wanna all see it work, or we wouldn't be here.
right.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Whatever capacity that
Thank you.
is, you know,
right.
whatever,
Thank you.
whatever everybody can do.
Yeah.
But to have one main person and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my opinion. And I'm. sticking
And,
to it.
and I think Judy Menard would say we should have somebody. Do you think so, Judy?
That's for words.
Not to put words in your mouth, Judy. But Judy said we need somebody.
Judy's another one of those people who picks up pieces.
Yeah.
Do you have cream for today? Do you?
How about you, Kathy? What's your vote?
I think we need someone.
Lucy, I have to skip over you. I'm sorry. You're a select board member. Pauline,
What?
do you feel that we should fill the position that was vacated by Melanie Silva, even if we redefine the position?
Well, my main thought is that when we used to run it, we used to have maybe 2 big function a month with the little things. So there wasn't somebody here all the time from morning until night. And maybe you get a better response. I can remember dinners that the church did for us for Valentine's Day, 96 people.
They cooked the turkeys
We had the
for those.
slide plates all the way down. We couldn't even get to them. And then it dropped down to about 27. So they stopped having that. It was a wonderful thing. It's what we got involved with because Carolyn Dwelly called and invited us.
We might need to take a look at some of the stuff that we have, drop in time and drop that.
Either that or do them all on the same day so that you can kind of
Stack
plan.
them up.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
almost impossible to keep a facility like this going 6
Yeah.
days a week.
Yeah.
Pauline,
Volunteers for it.
Pauline, I agree with you totally. 2 functions would be great, but the culture of our seniors have changed. The things that draw people in are exercise programs. The walking program has at least 11 ladies, 4 days a week. The lunch bunch has a sign up right now of 15 people before next Friday. The functional fitness was 14 today. Claire and I weren't there, so it would have been 16 or 18 some days. The Zumba, those are the things that draw people as well as food.
Double F.
Take one leader to open up and facilitate that, and the rest could have the time off to build up for their needs for the next day or the next day.
Yeah, maybe less drop in time.
Right.
Less drop in time, like
What do you mean drop?
Quiet Fridays
Quiet Fridays is a drop
might
in.
go.
Nothing says you have to be open 5 days a week.
Yeah. It might be coffee hour in the morning, might be Lonzo. I mean, we have to think about that. Yeah, so you retrench into the things that people are going to, the double F, food and fitness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
The double F.
Don't forget foolishness.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
foolishness is
well, I haven't seen too much of the foolishness, but
Foolishness is.
movies, gone. Quiet Fridays.
Depends on how important it is to the coordinator of the Quiet Friday.
I don't mind doing it. We'll
Right.
talk about it.
Yeah,
Right.
but I think what they're saying is go with the popular stuff,
Yeah, it would be.
concentrate the efforts on what's bringing people in. That's what's
Whatever your expertise is.
right. Vote up, Paul.
So,
Well, I think the first thing that needs to be done is you have to decide, eliminate the coordinator and go for a part-time director.
Yeah. Yeah,
and then work from that point forward, forget the title coordinator.
yeah.
Just because the amount of work that Melanie was given.
Right. That's ridiculous.
Coordinating activities was only about 25% of what that woman had to do.
Right.
So, I mean,
And that would help if we cut back things, the things.
I think by changing the title of the position that you need would give you the direction that you need to go in.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for one thing. Like, for instance, today, a bunch of people said, oh, coffee is on Monday. So do we have to go forward with some of these new people that signed up with what we already have in existence to see if it is in fact an important function for them?
We can do it because it's going to take time to get somebody in the position.
Right.
The meal site's open 4 days a week, so you can skip the coffee and just have them sign up for a lunch. For $3, you can't get a nicer lunch than that.
Are there certain
Yeah.
days of the week where you don't get as many people coming in for like the coffee?
No, Friday's the obvious one, yeah.
Friday is an obvious one. Yeah.
You know, because if that was the case, then you could limit the number of hours on those days or totally eliminate them.
That's what I'm looking at and thinking, Becky. The one issue that's, is the variation that you get in summer, because a lot of people go away and they're really busy outside with, being outside and yard work and stuff like that. So you're going to see a bit more of a pickup, I would imagine, fall and winter when it starts getting cool.
Right.
It's going to take time to fill the position. That's not going to be overnight. That gives us a chance to experiment.
And keep in mind that podiatry is all set in place with a waiting list all the time.
Mhm.
The blood pressure, Kathy, there
was only like 4 of us.
okay. And the other blood pressure, glucose, I'm not sure. I don't think she had anyone the last time.
So those might be on the chopping block.
Which to me is sad because they may be necessary for some people at some point that haven't taken part in them as yet. It may be someone who doesn't have that ability.
Glucose and blood pressure. We just keep
Like
that
what
one.
Pauline said, schedule it at the same time as say free bowling, so there's somebody there anyway.
Right, and that's what we did
Yeah,
with the Leicester
yeah,
Coalition.
yeah.
She's there when you guys are there.
That's right. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, and we have done that.
We
But
just want to go with blood pressure and glucose,
right,
the two of them together,
Yep.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. So there's a way that, what you're saying, rearrange the schedule.
Consolidate.
we
Yeah, consolidate.
I just want you to know that we have done that. So podiatry is on the day of a meal. So people are here for the meal and podiatry is a full day that day. We have 2 people who split the day. Usually they do reminder calls and everything in advance so that it's given. The blood pressure is during a meal. I had Kathy pick up and do that one. And the other blood pressure glucose is during Wii bowling. So they are already coordinated.
But if we don't get much attendance,
Right,
then there's no reason for Kathy to have to worry about.
right.
One last question.
Yep.
Since we've been funded for that position to 12,000 something,
I think it's 12,008. I'm not sure if it's 12,400 or 12,800.
12,480.
saying that it's,
12,480.
12,480.
since it's late enough in the season that we probably won't get this person hired until November. They won't be using up that full $12,400. Is Paul supposed to pay them on that salary scheme, but have some money left aside for extra hours as we need them?
Yeah, I would. I'd spend the money on, yeah.
What was that?
Because
Yeah.
I think if we have, she's on a salary, she gets so much a week. Let's say we need extra hours because there's several events going on
For the new person.
for the new person.
I got you.
Can we have a fund that would hire her for extra hours on days when we need them?
I would say yes, because the formula, I had the formula for how it came out with 12,480. But the point still is we have a budget for 12,480. So, let's say, I can't remember, I think we said 12 hours a week. But if we need extra hours and she works 14 one week, as long as we don't go over 12,480, we're okay. You just can't go over the operating budget.
Okay, great.
So are there people who are willing to volunteer to be a part of a committee to do research on with the other senior centers to come up with a way to coordinate and maybe give us an idea of what their directors receive in pay and what their responsibilities are, so we could flesh out the list of what we might
What it would cost if we were
require?
to merge with that center.
What would cost, all
Yeah,
of
we
those
want
kinds of.
to meet with them to see what would be involved if we
Are there-
joined them.
Is there anyone willing to be a part of that committee?
Well, nominate Claire.
I nominate Claire.
I'll help you out, Claire.
All right, because I want to do a spreadsheet, you know, I put everything on a spreadsheet.
She's good at spreadsheets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know nothing about them, but she's good at them. Rick, did you say you would be a part? Okay. Is there anyone else who would be willing to be a part of that investigation?
Some of it might just be.
Investigatory?
Make a list of, find out about.
Right.
We just split up the list. If someone takes, I'll take this town, someone will take another town.
Yeah.
Would you be interested, Paul? Oh, Judy raised her hand.
I raised a finger.
Down quick before they nail you.
I think I could do a little of it because I like to go to a lot of senior
Right.
centers.
Okay,
Yeah. No, I do. I like it. Yeah, yeah. I like it.
that's good. Paul, were you interested? Because you.
I would be interested in one aspect of it. I would be willing to go to Rutland and willing to go to North Brookfield,
Okay,
see if it's, a possibility
okay.
to become, part of their senior centers.
All right.
And as far as research on what they're going to offer us, the whole idea is that you would be under the same criteria as people from North Brookfield if you went to North Brookfield. And they're not going to specifically cut you out of programs or limit you to certain things, okay?
We just want to know what's available.
And find out what a possible assessment would be. I mean, they might tell you it's going to be $50,000 a year, and you say, well, I don't think that's
Nice.
that kind of puts it
Yeah,
on
that's
the
nice.
You know what I think, Lucy, is I think with the formula grant, if they're covering us, our senior population then comes under them. So they get more money they get our formula grant money.
Right.
That's one thing to remember, I think.
And I think
When
we're
they-
double
with the
dipping.
cost.
I think we're double dipping in Rutland somehow.
Oh, because she's not counting you as a senior population.
The ladies who have
Just
have
for sure.
Rutland key cards now, and they check in Rutland, and then we check them in here.
The grant,
Because there are attendants.
the grant is based upon the 2020 census.
Okay.
It's not what you
Okay.
check into my senior
Okay.
center, they
Right.
don't care. 2020 census. So they would get our 2020 census figures. If we get people moving into town and people dying, doesn't change. Still 571.
Okay, so we are agreed that there'll be a committee to look into our relationship with other senior centers in the area to answer the questions of how we could join with them or be a part of them, what they do, what their pay scale is for their director, and so forth. So there's a research committee, correct? And
I hear
it's
you
involved.
volunteer.
I did not hear me volunteer. There, Rick, Judy, and Paul.
You're not going to vote, okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah. Just didn't want to miss a part from it, that's all.
No, fine. I can miss. Okay,
Would the council vote on me to be authorized to inquire in those two towns?
okay,
Okay,
okay. Can we take a vote to allow Paul to research with North Brookfield and Rutland?
yeah.
To see the possibility and availability of our merger with those two towns. And what it would cost.
You would need also to talk to the Board of Selectmen of that town because they will charge the town that's merging with them. I believe that's when Hardwick went to Barry, it cost the town $20,000 and they get $7,000 a year now. to take Hardwick into that.
And I asked that
All the
question.
Equipment that belonged to Hardwick, they took everything that belonged
Yeah,
to Hardwick.
they would.
That's why I asked the question whether we had any authority as the Council on Aging to look into that. And I asked specifically whether it was the Board of Selectmen that needed to do that.
I read it in the Barry Gazette all the time when it comes up at budget season as to how much it's costing. So,
Yeah.
and the same with Hardwick, how much they have to pay Barry to take Hardwick.
So I think what it would come down to is if we recommended the town to the select board, they would have to negotiate the contract. I mean, we can give them budgetary figures, but they would actually have to negotiate the contract. And the reason why I bring up the formula grant is because that would be a point of negotiation. You're getting our formula grant.
So can we have a vote to allow Paul to investigate those issues with North Brookfield
I'm
and?
not inclined to make any decisions. I'm
No.
inclined to-
No, getting the information,
Investigation.
getting information.
Can we allow Paul? Everyone in favor of allowing Paul?
Aye,
Aye, thank you.
looks like it's unanimous.
Unanimous vote.
Hardwick also provides their people with transportation from Hardwick to Barry.
Yeah.
That's an extra cost of their town.
Are they paying for it or is Barry using one of their vans? Do you know, Lucy?
When I heard when they first started
Yeah.
doing it, they got the van themselves.
They got the van.
They got it from Art,
Okay,
Massachusetts.
okay, Massachusetts, okay.
So they were using that. What they're doing right now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't have contact with
Okay.
them at all.
So that'll be one of our questions and stuff.
Yes.
See how they handle that. Yeah, okay.
And Hardwick is getting their foods from our meal site.
Hardwick Meals on Wheels comes through Oakham.
And,
Barry refused to take them.
and so that's a point we may have to talk to them about. What if we kept the food here and everything else would go?
Because Hardwick gets at least 32, I think they're up to 32 to 35 meals a day.
Okay,
It's a lot to prepare
It's a
for that
lot.
kitchen.
yeah, yeah,
That's not Ocam's problem. That's between Hardwick and Elder Services.
yeah.
Good point.
But we can poke around and ask, maybe ask some questions and stuff. And I imagine with these other senior centers, it wouldn't be overwhelming to them. And
It's basically if we can't get funding for a part-time director
Yeah.
or funding to merge with another town,
Yeah,
Eurostat.
it's going down the tubes anyways here.
yeah. You're right, Paul. You're right. Okay.
Okay. Are we all done with old business?
Gonna come up with the agenda.
The new business, I do have the MOU from Elder Services and it's an online sign. Did you see that? I made a copy of it and it's Mandy Neal automatic sign. Did you see that? No, it's on the website. The COA website. And what you see in the MOU are what's required of the Elder Services Site Manager and what what we are required to do for Elder Services to host those meals in this place.
Anything doing different?
No, I believe it's the same MOU as we saw last year. I don't know if there are any other questions or concerns about the meal site or not. And whether we want to sign this, because there's no place, from what I saw, there's no place for comments. It's just a signature required for the MOU.
One thing we have to be careful of, it says coordinate program activities before and after mealtime to encourage to encourage participation.
Right.
So we have
It's
to
our
watch
job,
that.
right? It's our job.
Yeah,
Right.
we have to watch that.
We have had coffee.
Yeah.
We have had Wii bowling. We have signups in the dining area. So far, we've had no takers from the dining area. I mean, we have other things than just Wii bowling and coffee. We have other things. We've had movies. We've had other things that are quiet. They on here Fridays. That doesn't count. You don't count.
So what I'm saying is if we say we're going to get rid of some of those things, we have to make sure we meet the memorandum of understanding. So it's not as easy as saying, cut
The
it.
question I see is whether we're gonna have any activities after lunch.
Hmm.
We don't always.
We don't know. But they're trying to get people to come in and then participate in the meals.
So should we take that out?
We could ask them. I guess we would have to ask them.
We'll just talk about the situation with them.
We have to talk about the situation and ask them. Specifically, there's a clause here. Provide a gathering, no. Coordinate program activities both before and after mealtime to encourage participation. We can't do that. We don't have the people.
What they would consider as meeting
Yeah.
that requirement.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Did it 2 days a week.
that would be, this is a
Well, we do it-
concern.
I'm here Thursdays for socializing. You're here, Wii bowling.
Well, that's the
Coffee
morning.
is
That's the
before-
morning. It's the afternoon. That's really the question.
Well, they
I'm here in
got
the afternoon on
So
Thursdays.
you don't
for
want to
sure.
be here in the afternoon.
I don't want to be here anymore.
But if we're talking about consolidating schedules, so it's not because we don't have enough people to really staff those activities,
Nope.
then that affects this clause, which might mean that we have to talk with them about with a center this size, we cannot accommodate in total, in part, but not in total. We will accommodate to the best of our ability.
I suggest we talk to them about that particular.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just to make sure that what we're doing is something. I suspect it will be, but good to talk about it. Make sure.
Yeah, so that's the one thing I see.
Okay.
That's a discussion point. Jesus.
I don't see where that was.
It's
Oh, is it down?
it's right here. This is the one that I'm
Yep.
saying, we need to talk to them about it because this one, I don't know if we prominently acknowledge.
For complaints?
So
Prominently acknowledge.
that the food service provided here is a federal financial support from the Older Americans Act, administered by
I don't know
the
if we have anything posted to
No.
that effect.
funders also includes United Way, City of Worcester's division. No, we don't. City of Worcester doesn't apply to us.
That may be somewhat new as far as
Yeah.
posting it.
Elder Affairs
Say where it has to be posted?
No, I'm
says
saying
prominently acknowledged in
acknowledged.
written
I'm saying
for oral communications. We don't do that, but we could do it in the very Gazette.
Or the bulletin board.
bulletin board.
We
does
could
do
put
it.
that on the bulletin board, okay? We could do that. Internet access they have, system requirement, that's okay. Abstain from private things or debt, we don't, no problem with that. Yep. At your other else, the title, no problem, provide congregate, we do, Meals on Wheels, yes. We get the fax, yeah, they have the fax machine, hire superintendent, responsible for.
Sorry.
Yeah, that all looks good.
Yep.
So that's elder services. This is all elder services
Right.
here. So we don't have to worry about that. But what we need to do is talk about what we're going to consolidate so we can tell them when we provide before and after activities to meals and tell them we are doing the best we can. We don't have the people to do any better. And they may say that's okay, and we go ahead and sign the agreement with that understanding.
And I believe.
And I would want something in there, say, to the best of your ability. Cover you.
And we have the
Right.
names of the people to, I think it's that Andy Neal that's on the website to.
So we would-
ask those questions.
I would ask for an amendment to the best of your ability. That's all I would ask them for. And then it will cover you from a contractual basis.
Okay, and the last one is election of new officers.
We Do you have a process where we should like to do that?
No,
And may we know who the
Alex.
new officers are?
I'd like
I don't
to
know.
accept nominations from the floor. How's that? Is that good?
Could you tell us the positions, please?
Positions are the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, and the treasurer.
Oh. Okay, we're in trouble. Okay, we're in
I
trouble.
know the treasurer.
I'll continue. Is that okay with you?
All in favor of Claire being treasurer?
Yes.
Okay. I nominate Rick as secretary.
Yep.
Continue.
Yes.
Okay, so
All
that's
in favor?
unanimous.
Aye.
Now it gets tricky.
I nominate Barbara to continue as the chair with the understanding that when we hire a person, then she'll be able to step back from a number for,
Barbara needs to step back now.
I nominate Barbara for vice chair.
I second it.
Only if Barbara doesn't have to pick up the pieces for
Yeah.
not having a chair.
I'm just thinking that'd be good to have someone to help train a new person.
Help train would be fine, but I will not. I was thinking last night, if I remain even on the committee, nothing's going to change.
Well,
I need to walk away completely.
Can I make a suggestion?
Let me say one more thing.
Okay.
And it was very clear to me this morning that it needs to be someone with more experience in OCAM, with the people of OCAM. There were people who entered today. It was a lovely reunion with old OCAM people. I knew no one. I'm not the person to do this. Have never been. I was here to advise only.
It's a good place to meet new people.
I did meet a lot of new people, and I'd like to continue to meet new people and enjoy activities, not necessarily coordinate and be here for activities. So, no.
Would you stay on as vice chair so that we can get a new person on board, like Rick said, and you can train them?
Until the director starts.
Then at that point, if you want to step down, or at least we've got
If you remember, I
on the ground.
continued to stay on as acting chair for the summer, and things got more difficult over the summer. So if there's no one there, whether it's a chair or a vice chair, it's still going to be difficult for me. I could do that with the training and idea. I just can't be here. If I walk away, it's easier for you people to get someone that knows the people of town. It's new blood, fresh idea, turn the page.
And find ways to make a position less demanding. So that you don't need to be here. The person who would be the chair wouldn't have to be here that often. I think that position can be scaled back. You don't have to be here 4 days or 5 days a week for 6 hours or something. So I think we need to find ways to scale the position back and make sure that it's shared. And that being said, is there anyone that'd be interested in it?
And I want to commend the people. Claire has done an admirable job and has been very helpful with the computer stuff and the finances and all of that. Rick, you've done a wonderful job with the Herald and all of that. Judy, Becky, all of you have stepped forward to try to help. The problem is it's not easy to identify what help you need until after the fact. The situation has already arisen and been handled before you can even figure something out. So it's just not to my health benefit at this point to stay on.
I know it's not going to change your mind, but I know we haven't had a council on aging for a long time. So it would make sense that some of the things you're going to have, whoever's at the helm, they're going to be at it more because new things are coming in, things are going out and what have you. But the longer we have it, I think the less of a problem it's going to be for the higher ups, because it's gonna become just a matter of fact. You know, you're gonna learn, okay, this is this way, that is that way.
Reinvent the wheel all the time.
We have already, it's taken 2 years to get to a calendar with a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, and you know what they are.
Yeah.
You still can't fill them with people to cover those activities.
No, just do less and less.
That's why I'm saying things have to change.
But these are the things, this is Zumba. Those are run by Melanie. Who does the attendance, who does the money? Claire, somebody is still going to New Braintree, going to Rutland.
Actually, that's something I'd like to look at and talk about. I don't think we should be the middleman in that. I think Melanie should be able to handle that and send us a bill. I don't see any other reason for us to intrude ourselves here. But that's another conversation problem.
I do not want to be the responsible person any longer.
Right.
Still have to take attendance. We need it.
Take attendance? You can't collect money?
It could be a sign-up sheet.
Yeah.
That's what
Where it is.
that's what I do.
They still need to get it.
That's what
But
I
I
mean,
mean, have people sign their own names.
They do.
that's what I do. I have a book that I
Yeah,
bring to
they
each
do.
site for them to sign
Everybody
in.
signs in.
And then we have a clear record of how much money we have from,
Yeah.
that we're making from each of those, as opposed to just a wad of cash handed over. We know that there are 12 people at $2 and whatever.
Melanie
So
sends us
it's,
a list of those who, emails us a list of those who showed up. The money that she collected, the money that we owe her.
I feel very
Send out a
shaky.
check.
I feel very shaky on that. I'll tell you right now. I think from some experiences that I've had. Don't count on it. Sorry.
If she gives us a list of names, it's easy not to check if she's padding the list.
That's not the issue.
What are you worried about? You can't just say, I've had experience that tells me otherwise. Like what?
The issue is getting the list. The issue is getting the
And she's
list.
out. I mean, that's her job. I don't see why this is our problem as opposed to hers.
Another
I see
venue.
nobody else